But when I was down in Miramar, I was an instructor pilot in the F-18. And, I was a maintenance officer too. I got to do functional check flights. So whenever they did maintenance on a jet, a guy like me had to fly it before we gave it to the students to fly. They're like, "Hey, Wiz, what are you doing, man?" I'm like, "Nothing." They're like, "Hey, we need an acceptance flight on a new Hornet." So an acceptance flight, it literally just came from St. Louis, man. They just made this Hornet, brand new Lot 20.
Does it smell new in there?
Oh, my God.
Is it like better than a new car? Well, I mean,
no grease, no hide fluid, no oil leaks. This thing, it literally had, I think, 2 hours on the jet from like St. Louis to Miramar. So I walk out from, I'm all dressed. This should have been in the movie Top Gun. I'm walking out to the airplane. And all the other jets, Marine jet, Hornets are leaking. They're like this. They look like death. And this thing, it's like God put a little ding, like glint off the canopy.
Right.
So I get out on the runway, and I, full afterburner, and I'm like out of the airplane already. I'm hanging on to the back of the plane because it is hauling ass down the runway. So I get airborne out of Miramar, get off of San Diego about 40 miles, and it takes all of 7.2 minutes to figure out that this jet's perfect. And then a lieutenant with extra gas happens. So the book says, 50,000 feet is the service ceiling. And I'm like, let's go test that out, man. Full afterburner, push the nose over in the mid-20s, go supersonic, and I'm hauling ass. And I'm accelerating going up. I'm like, oh, this is the altimeter. It's like Bugs Bunny, man. It's just spinning, 30, 35,000 feet, 40, and I'm still zipping. And I go through 50,000 feet, man. And I'm like, all right, didn't hit my head, so let's just keep going. And I get up to about 61,000 feet, and it's black and blue.
Oh my god.
Curvature of the earth and black. And I'm like, oh, you can hear angels and stuff.
That is awesome.
I'm like, wow. I didn't have too much time to enjoy it because all of a sudden it's like,
so it does do that?
Oh, God, yeah. The engines, no air. So the engines were like...
That sucker started hacking on you?
Oh, the engines were hacking. Yeah. They were like, come on, Wiz. So the engines are coughing. I'm like, oh, shit, I got my altitude record. Let's go for speed.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm hauling ass.
You got comms going?
Oh, I'm not talking to anybody, baby.
I know, but are they talking to you? Because
oh, man. Nobody can talk to me. I'm talking to God.
Well, that's what I thought. I was just curious as to when that... All right, cool.
So... but I'm hauling ass, but there's no air up there, so it's sluggish. So I'm like, all right, let me roll over. So I go full stick, and normally down at altitude, you go full stick. I mean, you'll break your neck.
So it's like driving with no power steering?
Exactly.
Right.
I was like in a tub. I was moving
check.
the stick around. The jet's just doing this.
Right.
So I go full stick, and it just kind of rolls. And I'll never forget this, man. Beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, right? Blue, black, but blue, straight down at the Pacific. And I'm leaving the afterburners engaged. I am going... the speed of everything, man. Dude, you should probably start pulling out of this dive because, you're hauling ass. So I saw Mach 1.7, which is, I don't know, 1,300 miles an hour, 1,400 miles an hour.
Gosh.
So I pulled the throttles to idle, and I'm going so fast that reduction, it's like I hit a wall. I'm like hanging forward in the straps. So I'm hauling ass, and I'm like, what it's going to feel like when I hit the water. Am I going to know? So I'm processing all this stuff, and now I'm getting into the teens. And the air's thicker. So now the jet's starting to bite. Now the flight control computers are like, all right, we can give you more. And I'm like, oh, come on. So I'm like a cotton ball at this point, like with the nose pointed up, but my vector just going straight down. I'm sticking the lap. And then I start climbing away. And, we have like 2 mirrors up here. And I see a rooster tail behind the jet. And I climb on out. And I'm like, woo!